But it would be a good one. It would be an Emmy. It's old. It's old. That works.
Yeah.
You're good, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Welcome everyone tonight, the Township of Nipissing Committee of Adjustment. The agenda, we begin with number 1, and that is a disclosure of pecuniary interest. Seeing none, we'll move on to number 2, which is to adopt the minutes that meeting held October 4th. So I need a mover, a seconder. Okay, Councilor Yam. And Councilor Turkey. So I'll read the motion or the resolution. It's number COAR 2022-24, moved by Councilor Yam, seconded by Councilor Turkey, that we adopt the Committee of Adjustment minutes of October 4th, 2022. All in favor? Carried. Okay, next on the agenda, number 3, consent application C 2022-08, property owners Donald and Debbie McLaughlin. And I'll read the consent application proposes to sever one new lot from the subject lands for rural residential use. And the application is to approve the consent application by providing provisional consent, subject to the following conditions, and I'll read that after. I can say on this one, there are no objections by any parties. And they've worked with John Paul through this whole procedure. No questions, no issues. So if anybody has a question, direct it to John Paul first, if there's anything.
This was a middle of that. We will have other conditions on that. Also, they've gone along. The property is far enough away from the actual area built, so that we can have this. One condition to see in there is just. And to rezone the one section to the west of the property.
And we've removed that whole symbol before, so it's nothing new. So are there any questions? Because if not, I'll ask for a mover and a seconder. Councilor Yam and Councilor Foot. Now I'll read out the entire resolution now, so bear with me. It's COAR 2022-25, moved by Councilor Yam, seconded by Councilor Foot. Application C 2022-08. Applicant Donald and Debbie McLaughlin. The consent application proposes to sever one new lot from subject lands for rural residential use. The Township of Nipissing Committee of Adjustment approved consent application C 22-08 by providing provisional consent subject to the following conditions. There are a number. A copy of the reference plan to be deposited in the land registry office that is substantially in compliance with the application sketch. B, the original executed transfers, deeds, both duplicate originals and 1 photocopy per consent. C, a schedule describing both severed and retained lots and naming the applicable grantor and grantee attached to the transfers for approval purposes. D is removal of the H1 holding provision from the severed lot. E is zoning bylaw amendment to implement the recommended building envelope is provided by Fry Ecological Services in a memorandum dated August 31st, 2022. F, written confirmation that sufficient capacity exists for treatment capacity for hauled sewage to the satisfaction of the township. And G, a certificate in the appropriate form described in OReg 19796, Schedule 1, for signature of the Township Beneficent Committee of Adjusting Official. So after all that, if you remember, we're looking to sever one new lot, the long and the short. So if there's no comments or questions, all in favor? Carried.
It's just a 20-day appeal period. We'll get a notice of passing.
Okay, great.
Okay, move on to number 4. The applicant is Christian Self. It's an application proposes to sever 2 new lots from the subject land for residential use. Do we have any comments, questions? Again, John Paul can answer those, but again, no objections, everything looks good, but I'll let John Paul follow up.
There's no neighbor objections to this one. The property is unique as in the settlement area, so it won't. It's in the settlement area. Good size lots, they got their MTO approval. They did their MDS also.
So if there are no questions, I'll ask for mover and seconder. Councillor Butler. And Councillor Kirk. It's number COAR 2022-26, moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Kirky. Application 2022-09, applicant Christian Self. Decision, the consent application proposes to sever 2 new lots from subject lands for residential use. The Township of Nipissing Committee of Adjustment approves consent application C 2022-09 by providing provisional consent subject to the following conditions. Conditions are A, a copy of the reference plan to be deposited in the land registry office that is substantially in compliance with the application sketch. B, the original executed transfers, deeds, both duplicate originals and 1 photocopy per consent. C, the schedule describing both severed lots and naming the applicable grantor and grantee attached to the transfers for approval purposes. D, written confirmation that sufficient capacity exists for treatment capacity for hauled sewage to the satisfaction of the township. And finally, a certificate in the appropriate form prescribed in OReg 19796, Schedule 1, for signature of the Township of Nipissing Committee of Adjustment official, Secretary, Treasurer, Chairperson. If there are no comments or questions, call for vote. All in favor? Carried. And merely we roll on to number 5. I need a mover and seconder to the adjournment of the Committee of Adjustment. Thank you. Councillor Foot. Councillor Yam. Number COAR 2022-27, moved by Councillor Foot, seconded by Councillor Yam, that the Committee of Adjustment meeting be adjourned at 6:08 p.m. All in favor? Carried. Thank you all for coming tonight. Hope you didn't take too much of your time. It's not a record, but we got it done. Yeah.
So I got it.
Is that we ready?
There we go.
Good?
We're good.
Okay. I'd like to welcome everyone tonight to the Township of Nipissing Council meeting. Tuesday, December 20th, we'll round up to 6:30. I'll ask if there's any disclosure of pecuniary interest. Yeah, I see none. So we'll go to committee reports first. So number 2 on the agenda, so committee reports. Councilor Young, no committees yet. Councilor Blessings, Councilor Foot, not yet. Councilor Curtin.
Nothing yet. We did the library last week, and source water protection is slated in January.
Councilor Buck. Okay, well, I drew the short straw. We had another Pines meeting on Tuesday, December 13th. There was a review of the board membership. Bernadette Kerr is now the new chair. Dave Britton is vice chair and treasurer. Our other representative is Doug Wally as a non-resident, and Leo Patey is the municipality of Powassan as well. And the chair and the vice have signing authority. They did an update on capital projects there, including the retaining wall. The bill was authorized to be paid for the retaining wall. They need to replace winter plugins, and they'll just continue to work through priorities on the outline projects list. There's a manager's report, an updated financial report, and the next meeting is in January to be determined. Meeting. I know you're report, but next meeting is tomorrow, and next building meeting is Thursday. And as Steve mentioned, he and I both attended the library open house. He did mention that I won the draw and won the puzzle. So that was pretty special. And then after that, East Home Winter Market was on December 9th. And then East Home also welcomed 6 new overseas employees on December 2nd. So that's what was going on there. And for an update, I'll be here tomorrow morning from 9:30 till way too long. So that's it. And I know when we get into the new year, we'll start having more meetings. So at this time, we're going into number 3 on our agenda, a public meeting. So this part of our meeting is declared a public meeting pursuant to the provisions of section 34(12) of the Planning Act, RSO 1990, discuss an application for a zoning bylaw 2020 by the Township of Nipissing. And I'll start with John Paul. Is there anything you want to mention about this?
Just been no neighbors that have complained anything with the bylaw amendment. The owners have been very cooperative. They gave us the proper supporting documentation for the zoning bylaw amendment. They had a proper study done by FRI. Because the current zoning bylaw lines are correct. The those have done mapping, but that section of land halfway from Muscat has a lot of dry space there. So they went out and did a study, and there's no problem. And the mapping will be changed to the zoning bylaw for what the biologists will study.
Right. And we've all received this information, looked over it. I have no concerns. Does anyone else have any? Seeing none, I need a mover and seconder on this side. So Councillor Butler, Councillor Turkey. So I'll read it in its entirety. It's number R 2022-222. Moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Turkey. That we passed bylaw number 2022-57, being a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw 2020 as amended, read a first, second, and third time and passed this 20th day of December 2020. All in favor? Carried.
We'll just do a 20-day appeal period, basically, so the 20-day planning permit, because anybody in the regional can appeal the decision, so.
Close out for your planning anyhow. So
Good. Okay.
Okay, so we're done. And I know you don't want to stay for the next 2 hours. So feel free to leave.
We're getting kicked out.
Oh, no, you can definitely stay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Have a good night.
You too.
Have a good Christmas, everyone.
Same to you. Okay, the next is to adopt minutes of December 6th. A mover and a seconder, please. Okay, Councilor Yan and Councilor Foot. It's number R 2022-223. Moved by Councilor Yam, seconded by Councilor Foot, that the minutes of the council meeting held December 6th, 2022 be adopted as published. All in favor? Agreed. And, okay. Right. So I think we've all read the staff report on the Shore Road allowance application. We wanted everybody to see this. Now, this was passed in August of 2022. It's come to our attention that it needs more discussion with this council, because it was made in principle by the previous council, but you neither have to or, should necessarily live by their decision in principle. So in order to move on, we need a.
It's also because council was offered a piece of the property in exchange for insurance loan. That was the original proposal. And then following the closed session meeting, we did some investigation and search for everyone. And we did find space where we can create a new access to the lake, so that was no longer required. So it is a new proposal. So you can ask them if they would like to make a new proposal.
So because it was already passed, you have to have a resolution, a reconsider resolution. You've only done this one other time. That was me. So this time, I need a mover and a seconder, and they have to be off the old council. So Councilor Kirby has moved it, and I will second it. And I'll read it, and then we can comments or questions. It's number R 2022-224. Moved by Councilor Kirby, seconded by myself, that we reconsider resolution number R 2022-153, passed August 16, 2022, approving in principle the application of Andrea Dickinson and Tracy Duggan by Paul Goodrich agent on behalf of owners to purchase the Shore Road allowance located in front of our broken lot 11 in section 19, Township of Nipissing. And this matter will be placed on the January 3rd, 2023 agenda for reconsideration and discussion. The reason for reconsideration is proposal submitted requires revision to remove the parcel of land proposed for transfer to the township. So it would give this council the chance to discuss this particular land, its uses, its access and whatever, and not necessarily go by what previous council determined. So if you want to reconsider this, Steve has moved it, I seconded it. Any comments or questions? If none, I'll call for a vote and say all in favor. Raise your hand. Carried. So. that will be on January 4th. Okay. Number 7. This is to approve the hazard identification risk assessment. So yes, Will?
So did everybody get a copy of it? Does anybody, nothing's changed from the last time, except we did add rapid weather events. And we're gonna keep it at number 4 for this year, but we may have to reconsider looking at moving it if, depends on how this year goes. We're getting more rapid events, more freezing rain to snow to rain, back to snow, more than we are getting wildland fires, knock on wood. So we may look at moving it up next year, but as right now, we like to keep it the way it is if everybody's okay with that. And then nobody has any questions or?
And this has changed. I know it was pointed out to me, number 5, human health emergencies. It wasn't even there 3 years ago. And since COVID, now we have human health emergencies or, the new respiratory issues. So they become hazards that need to be identified in a risk analysis. But other than that, and this is, I'm going to say fluid. It can change and will
It can,
change.
yes.
And, maybe this is all part of climate change, whatever, but we're feeling the effects. So this is just the appendix to the emergency plan. So questions? If not, I'll move to second. Councilor Butler, Councilor Murphy. So it's R 2022-225, moved by Councilor Butler, seconded by Councilor Murphy, that will approve the updated hazard identification risk analysis, which is appendix 10 to the Township of Nipissing Emergency Plan. All in favor? Carried.
If I could piggyback onto this with a workshop that council's been invited to. It's Essentials of Municipal Fire Protection. So it's a 3-hour workshop that will be online, so we could do it right here. And attached is some dates. And if we all could get one date, we could do it as a group. But need be, we can do it as 2 or 3 groups.
So
Does-
I think the common was Wednesday, the 11th.
If that works for everybody, yes, we can see if we can get in on that one.
Okay. Shot.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll let everybody know. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Number 8, the transfer of land to the township condition need committee adjustment resolution 2206. I'll just let Chris mention it. After Stephen's meeting.
So the condition is the part 2, part 3 on plan 42R 20658 transfer to the township of Nipissing. That is just a travel road. Correct, Uncle?
Yeah, just on Granite Hill Road there, finding it in that area. Like I said, the Granite Hill Road, yeah, the condition of the severance was to transfer that to town, to like the spaces. People don't really drink this stuff, fire trucks, anything like that. It's part of it, just we asked to get that section. We might.
So if severance is anything like that, that the road travels through, we always get a portion of the road. And because some of the roads weren't on our property. And so now when we do a severance, we make sure that we have the road so we have access. So this is just following up on that transfer that happened a while ago. So that was one of the parts that they had Agree.
And our lawyer has reviewed the transfer document.
So we'll move over to the secondary. Counselor Yam, you can stay on. It's number R 2022-226, moved by Counselor Yam, seconded by Counselor Butler, that we authorize the mayor and the municipal administrator to sign the acknowledgement and direction for the transfer of Part 2 and Part 3, Plan 42R 20658, satisfying condition B, resolution COAR 2022-06. All in favor? Carried. Okay, the next one, township will get the same accessibility plan. This is something that is updated, you say yearly?
Every year we go through this.
Right. Try to do it in December. I think we all looked through it. And there's one page that you're given tonight just for the museum.
Which is,
It's the manager, there's the two of them, and the other was, instead of outlining every social event that they have, we just for special events of the museum, because they have changed and will continue to do so. So any questions about the accessibility plan? Okay, we need to move over into secondary to accept it. Okay, Councilor Foot and Councilor Kirk. It's number R 2022-227, moved by Councilor Foot, second by Councilor Kirky, that we approve the 2022 review and update of the Township of Nipissing multi-year accessibility. All in favor? Carried. Okay, the election accessibility report was just about the election, whether you could physically get in. You notice future consideration, large print signs, final summer newsletter and fall newsletter that we talk about where the voting is. Use of volunteers to assist electors, and signs posted at voting stations 2, 3 in advance. So every year this will be updated, upgraded, every 4 years, every time we have lunch. So hopefully not for 4 more years. So there's no comments or questions, are there, on this? In which case, I'll move in the seconder, Councilor Yam and Councilor Butler. And it's R 2022-228, moved by Councilor Yam, seconded by Councilor Butler, that the Council of the Township of Nipissing receives the election accessibility report for the 2022 municipal election. All in favor? Carried. Okay. 2022 budget update. For new counselors, if there's any money left, or we have credits, machine credits, that money is transferred into reserve at the end of the year, and we're reaching that point. We've got the machine credit, building revenue and public services department, software funding in that case,
they haven't finalized, we haven't reached that point yet. So we have to actually extend our period with Baker. But the towns who were going to previous a credit, we haven't paid the fund. So let's put that back in reserve until we.
Does anybody have any questions about, I mean, we all know the bottle drive, the playground tables. We mentioned dock and boat launch repairs. Surplus in the museum budget, the integrity commissioner, the Nords grant.
North Grant is the Northern Ontario Resource Development Support Grant. So it's meant to help municipalities with their infrastructure on roadways leading to pits, quarries, logging, things like that. So the first one they gave us this year was actually for last year. So we used that towards Beatty Street. We paid Beatty Street. And then now we've applied to put it into reserve. So we have one payment of 97,679.54. And it's a designated grant, so we do have to give them the information how we're going to spend it. So we're going to use it on multi-play over on her road in the future.
And again, every year, if we're fortunate, we put money in reserve. So are there any questions? In which case, it's number R 2022-229. I need to move in the seconder, Councilor Butler, Councilor Kirby. I have to read this all. No, I apologize to you, that we transfer the machine credit for the road equipment and fire apparatus to the reserve at the end of 2022. That we transfer the surplus revenue in the building services department to the designated reserve for this purpose. That we transfer the remaining software funding to reserve pending the finalization of the project in 2023, amount $68,885.07. That we transfer the $5,000 budget in 2022 for paid equity purposes to reserve for future needs of a paid equity review. We transfer the Nords grant funds received $195,359.08 to a designated reserve fund as required. That we transfer the revenue collected from the bottle drive, $3,691.25 into the designated recreation department reserve. We transferred $250 received as a donation to the playground tables and chairs into the recreation department reserve. We placed $5,000 budgeted for dock and boat launch repairs into the designated reserve for this purpose for the use in 2023. We placed $9,000 surplus from the museum budget in the reserve for museum capital repairs, and that we transfer $500 from the integrity commissioner budget to reserve for future need of this service. Comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, well, this one goes back to our last meeting. And this is that we donate $100 to Boston Lions for their Christmas hampers. I need to move her in the seconder, Councilor Kirby and Councilor Young. SAR 2022-230, moved by Councilor Kirby, seconded by Councilor Young, that we donate $100 to the Boston Lions Club for the 2023 Christmas hampers. All in favor? Carried. The next one is a donation to Mad Canada. I need to move in the seconder, Councilor Foot and Councilor Buxton, thank you. It's number R 2022-231, moved by Councilor Foot, seconded by Councilor Butler, that we donate $100 to Mad Canada. All in favor? Carried. next ones are resolutions for joint committees between Nipissing, Powassan, and Callender. So a mover and a seconder for the municipality or for the District of Parry Sound Municipal Authority Association. So I need a mover and a seconder, Councilor Butler and Councilor Yim. So it's number R 2022-232, moved by Councilor Butler, seconded by Councilor Yim, that we support the nomination of Councilor Jordy Carr, municipality of Callender, as Ward 6 representative in the District of Parry Sound Municipal Association. All in favor? Carried. The other one is for DSAB. I need a mover and a seconder, and the gentleman is Mike Dell. Okay, Councilor Butler. And Councilor Turkey. Number R 2022-233, moved by Councilor Butler, seconded by Councilor Turkey. So we support the nomination of Councilor Mike Dell, municipality of Callender, as representative to the Parry Sound District Social Services Administration Board. All in favor? Carried. Okay, the next portion is number 17. Amend the remuneration schedule for mayor and council in 2023. As I mentioned when we had the Mr. Elston here, I always have an issue with this. But he said, it's your job and you will do it. So it's our job and we will do it. You see what the remuneration was for 2022, mayor and council. And what can I say? No one has suggested anything less than 3%. Why 6.90 there? That's the cost of living. Traditionally, we used to do cost of living. My recommendation is that we don't, because it's really high, and I know you all do this job just because you love it, you know. But as I have been told on numerous occasions, you don't get paid. Nobody will ever want to do this job at all, ever. So, and you have to look at, and I look at your transportation and everything like that, and all the other things that you do and attend and whatever. So, yeah, the time you spend reading these packages. Anybody want to make a comment, question, whatever? The floor is open to you. Okay, President Bob.
There's a lot of people going through their possibly that they're going to feel it on taxes. I'm not, and I firmly believe that we should minimize our own remuneration because, like you said, we stepped up to do this, not to get rich by any means. So I think we should, at the very most,
I agree with you.
Okay. At the most, what's the minimum?
where's yours? If we could pause it for a year,
I mean, this is like, the floor is yours, whatever you think. I don't think Councillor Turkey was here the last time I had a plan to do this, and I was voted down 4-1, so I'm not gonna do it again, not stepping up there. So,
Well, we're,
Honestly, we stepped up knowing whatever,
mhm,
and we stepped up knowing we were getting or not, and it is a good fact at the end of the day. I would have zero problems pausing it for a year, because I didn't do this for the money. This is not about the money, this is about the impact.
and you use the word zero and pause, so is that what we're looking at? What the remuneration was for 2022?
Their remuneration for 2022 was 14,401. And for the counselor position, it was 9,600. For the year, 8 quarters.
so you're talking to increase?
No,
That's
that's what it is now.
Yeah,
And it'll just stay there if you don't want an increase.
I'm all for that. Can I put some of my reasoning on this?
Sure.
We are going into a recession this year. Everybody in our township who is living marginally is going to hurt. Every penny that we can save on our bottom line on taxes this year is going to help them. How many marginalized people in the last couple of years are on food banks and stuff like that? I don't want to be part of that problem.
And you guys are here for 4 years. So
Hopefully in that time, the recession will end.
nobody's gonna poach you or any of us. That's why we look at this, it's different when you're looking at your employees. And I just want to put that out there in advance, but if you have no issue, I know in the past staff has had an issue with that, but evidently we seem quite positive on this note, so we would make a motion to, so right, so on the schedule, it will say that
0%.
0% increase. Okay, we good with that then? Well, I need a mover and seconder. Councilor Kirky and Councilor Young. It's number R 2022-234, moved by Councilor Kirky, seconded by Councilor Young, that we pass bylaw number 2022-58, being bylaw to establish the remuneration and payment of expenses of members of council. Read first, second, third time passes 20th day of December 2022. All in favor? Carried. And staff. So when it comes to staff, and I know Tom and I talked about this on the way out. It's a little different story because as much as they love it and everything like that, they have to pay the bills as well. I'm just upfront. Sunridge gave their staff 6% this summer. Not just did it. Okay. Cost of living, as I pointed out, is 6.90 right now. We all know that you have to stay competitive or we're going to lose employees. We don't want to do that. But at the same time, you can't break the bank, you know. we being the bank. So council has made, some effort, maybe to subsidize staff pay, whatever, but if you look at and I've talked to 2 councils that are looking north of 4 right now. And I know we have talked to our staff, and we have the lowest here at 3.5, 4. We found out at the Pine Shed today, somebody said, well, I'll be happy with a lot more. And of course you will be happy with a lot more. But our staff, when they discussed this, they said 3.5, which is basically half of the cost of living. They thought would be up their remuneration. So I'm putting that out there, and that opens the floor for discussion. So what do you think?
I think it's super important to hang on to the team we have. Because we have a good team. And we don't want to be in that situation in agony. Because let's be honest, people are being poached all the time. You open your emails every day, right? So
Well, not
have a good
mine.
team.
But maybe yours.
We have a good team and we need to hang on to them.
Steve, you've been here when we've had such difficulty in the last 2 years, I guess. We put out for a grader operator for over a year, not a bite. Same thing with truck drivers. That didn't go well either. So we couldn't find a short-term replacement, anything like that. So you don't want to lose from day one, we've always had great, roads departments.
Or our current roads department. They're just getting trained there now, like. Dave was very fortunate. We had some seasoned people on that too. And it's hard to replace that. You don't have the same. The work ethic isn't the same, right? But we're fortunate. We have sort of got a good portion of that work ethic. Well, the work ethic is there now. We don't have the cross training where they could do mechanical. We've got rid of a lot.
Well, we did everything to the T. Everybody had a tire course. A brake adjustment you were allowed to do. We never did anything we couldn't do.
Yeah,
Yes. So,
but there was years of experience there. Years.
yeah,
10 years.
well, we had Pat,
Yeah.
had Gordon for a while. We had Jeffy Cullum come and
Yeah.
Jeff Conrad and Luke. So we went
Yeah,
through a lot.
You got some coming up.
Yeah,
But we don't have, right now, we have coming up people, and we have some experience, but not that decades of experience we had before. So, but we've got to retain what we have, because what we have now is coming along nicely, I think.
So we have to look at a percentage. I put a percentage out there. Is anybody higher, lower?
I would shoot a 3.5 over there.
That's what I mentioned. Yep. Pardon?
sounds good to me. And
Okay. Well, let's not flog this horse. Agreement. Over in the second. Okay, Councilor Yan and Councilor Cook. Number R 2022-235, moved by Councillor Yam, seconded by Councillor Flick, to repass bylaw number 2022-59, being a bylaw to amend the remuneration schedule in the Township of Nipissing, pay equity plan, and update the human resources policy manual. Read a first, second, and third time and pass this on this day of December 2022. All in favor? Carried. Okay, this one comes up every year between, we will not collect any taxes between now and March. Because of that, every township, every municipality authorizes a temporary borrowing in case something terrible happens and we need to borrow above our reserves between now and the end of March. It has not happened, knock on wood, with us ever in the history of Nipissing, but still we have to pass this just in case. So it's a little bookkeeping, but it just guarantees, it won't be like the United States government that says, oh, we're out of money, we're going to shut down for a couple of weeks. Okay, so this is our way around that. So I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Butler, Councillor Kirky. It's number R 2022-236, moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Kirky, that we pass bylaw number 2022-60, being a bylaw to authorize temporary borrowing from time to time to meet current expenditures during the fiscal year ending December 31, 2022. Read a first, second, and third time and pass this 20th day of December 2022. All in favor? Carried. Okay, correspondence. So first of all, the letter from the Command Community Center. Anytime that there is a occasion like that, we just have to support it. Just like legally on holidays like Family Day. We always support one for South Shore and for Foots for liquor license for that day. So that's all this is. We've done it before. It's a great community organization, and this is for their winter dance. And the next one, Toronto never, ever sends us anything. But they sent us this. Most upset about more homes built faster because they're going to lose a ton of revenue. Already the government's expropriating green land north of the city. And this is basically telling us what they're doing. They're not asking for us in Nipissing to support Toronto, but they're just making us aware of the issues they're having with Bill 23. More homes built faster. And again, it could change our official plan a little bit, but that remains to be seen. So Toronto's fighting it, and they're bringing it to our attention. The next two are meetings from the Recreation Committee, but we've already heard those before. In fact, we are already at the next meeting. What's that? So again, just information. The next one, and Councillor Butler brought this to my attention, and I've read this already. The Township Farmers tremendously concerned about the proposed amendments to Bill C-21. If you read this, the Township of Armor has done a really good job here, I believe. And when Bill C-21 came out, there was a lot of opposition at the time, but since then they've added, and they're continuing to add amendments. And every, basically weekly, amendments change. And this week, something else is taken out or added and added and added. And there are concerns by legal hunters and gun owners about this particular bill. Everybody will have definitely a comment on it. But Councillor Butler is asking that in the next meeting, we put in a resolution that we support Armor, suggesting that Nipissing Township agrees that they would like to explain their opposition to Bill C-21. And at that time, we can discuss it. But it will be on the next agenda. And we'll discuss it, and then we'll have a vote like we always do. So I just wanted to, Tom brought it up, mentioned it to me, and I mentioned it to Chris, so we will look at that on the next agenda. So if you read Armor's resolution, I think they've done an excellent job, credit to them, and we'll go on. So other than that, we're looking at accepting the correspondence. So Councillor Butler and Councillor Kirk. Thank you. In the old days, if you accepted the correspondence, then the next thing that always comes up is the statement of accounts. So one side would make sure they did it, because then the other side would have to do the statement of accounts, especially if it was a horrendous amount like it is tonight. So Butler and Kirky got in front of that one. So it's number R 2022-237, moved by Councillor Butler, second by Councillor Kirky, to accept the correspondence as presented. All in favor? Carried. So yeah, school, all the school boards are in there in East Home. So that's why it is huge. But excuse me. I just, okay, right. 283, but if you've had a chance to look over everything here. If there are any comments or questions. And it goes right down to the bill, the exact.
Well, I don't think.
I have that.
problems, but yeah,
So if there is a comment or a question,
I have all of them here too. So
like I said, when we get the education. But again, doesn't come out of our budget. We take it in, we put it in, so it's zero cost to us, but it's big. So the total is 283. I'm the mover in the second, Councillor Yam, and I'm waiting. Councillor Foot, thank you. Sorry about that.
Slow on the draw.
Yep. So it's number R 2022-238, moved by Councillor Yam, seconded by Councillor Foot. That the statement of accounts dated December 8th, 9th, and 14th, 2022, totaling $280,845.83 be approved. All in favor? Ready? Two left. So the confirming bylaw. So I need to move over to second, Councillor Butler and Councillor Turkey. And thank you. If I forget to thank you, you know you're always thanked. Because we couldn't move on with that. Number R 2022-239, moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Turkey, to be passed bylaw number 20, 2261 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held December 20th, 2022, read the first, second, third time, and passes 20th day of December 2022. All in favor? Carried. And finally, secondary, Councillor Yam and Councillor Foot. Right on that one. Number R 2022-240, moved by Councillor Yam, seconded by Councillor Foot, with the meeting adjourned at 7:19, we'll round it up. PM, the next regular meeting to be held January 3rd, 2023. All in favor? Carried. I'd like to thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank staff and counselors. And wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. And thank you for the Christmas card. And ring out 2022, and we look forward to better things in